I did not like the dubstep.
Yeah. Speaking of good guy moves, Mari Crombo Weebs, my name is Cole, his name is Mike, his name is Jay, we like anime, and this is episode, get ready for it, 150 of AniPro. Whoa. And on this week's episode, we are reviewing Kyoto Animations anime from a while ago? When did it come out? 2013, thank you, Jay. We're reviewing Free.
Not Free Rent.
Why
Not
do you
free
say
rent.
anime with like a question mark?
Oh, it is an anime.
Yeah, but that's what I mean, is what was the question mark? There was a questioning attitude.
I think
there.
he wanted to say hit anime, but
Yeah.
Well,
then he
that's three
stumbled.
seasons.
Or
I'd
maybe
say
I
it's
said
unquestionably.
masterpiece anime. Or maybe I was going to say crappy anime.
Or maybe
Maybe
you
you
were
were
going to
gonna
say
say-
anime I haven't watched.
Maybe. I've been told it's
because
an anime.
one of us hasn't seen this show yet, and we're just gonna
Maybe.
guess
maybe.
which one of us hasn't seen the show.
Maybe.
That's
Or all of us
possible.
have watched it.
Probably.
Maybe.
It's possible all of us or none of us. Somewhere between all of us and none of us has watched this show.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Or one of us.
Yeah, somewhere in
did
between.
what?
Yeah, somewhere
I
in
don't
between.
know.
It's between 0 and 3 people have watched this show on this podcast.
Yeah,
What if it was
including
4?
0 and 3.
Yes.
What if 4 people watched it?
Whoa.
Wouldn't that be crazy?
Actually, that's kind of true because Shazana watched it with me.
Oh, well, bring her in. And
about-
ladies and gentlemen.
Hold on. Did a fifth person watch this?
No.
I mean, technically, I guess a baby counts.
no,
a
A
babies
baby is a
don't count.
person.
They're not
Babies-
people yet.
Cole, a baby's a person. Damn it.
That's not true. That's impossible.
Search your
not
feelings.
true.
Know that you'll find it's
Anyway.
true.
Anyway, before we get into any of this, why don't you hit the like button, subscribe, tell a friend about us, all of that good stuff. I haven't seen you fine gentlemen. We haven't recorded an episode for eons,
Yep.
decades,
Days, even.
at least hours, literally 24 hours. We did our bonus episode yesterday. Oh yeah, hey, if you're on Patreon, hey, we got bonus episodes that come out monthly. This month's was a good one, I think.
A very hot one.
Yeah.
A very hot
And that is
one.
not a hot take.
That's right.
That is not a hot take. How are you guys doing? Jay, you got your ReZero hat on. You
Hey,
got
it's
your,
back, baby.
It's back, baby.
Go
How's...
somewhere?
Yeah, it was
Yeah.
like it wasn't on.
There
There was a new
retired
season
for a while?
started.
Oh,
Yeah, it's like a new season.
New season.
Yeah.
Season
Yeah, we
3
all
started.
forgot about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We forgot
Cole,
about
I
it.
need to
because
talk to you
Beth-
about ReZero off air.
Will you?
I don't know. Probably.
Okay.
It's a good
Okay, we'll talk
show,
about-
man.
Yeah, hey, I'm watching it.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's fine.
Mhm.
It's a good show.
Just fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Jay, now I know that we had to pry you away. In classic Jay form, we had to pry you away from your gaming console of choice.
Yeah.
How is Metaphor ReFantazio? How is it? Are you enjoying it?
Metaphor came out today as of recording, and as the guy who plays games the most on the podcast and closest to release, it sucks that we very often record the day games release because my voice is going away. Holy.
Yeah. Oh, I can't record anymore.
Because Jay's like, oh no.
Oh no, my voice. No,
I was screaming at the TV too much.
we always record days that games I want to play come out. And
Yeah, they generally come out on Fridays. Yeah.
Mhm.
And this time it was Metaphor ReFantazio, which we talked about the prologue, and yeah, you can transfer over your save and just keep going. And
You got a head start.
I did.
Mhm.
And I beat the first dungeon, and it's a really, really fun game so far. But like I
So
mean,
far.
yeah.
Well,
So
based on
far,
the
so
reviews, it's got to take a turn at some point, right? Because the reviews have been not good. Oh
What are you
wait,
talking about? Yeah.
No, they have been very good. Sorry. I had to check my notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, this game is getting acclaimed by video game critics. It's kind of nuts. And like I kind of see why, cuz like they take a couple of things that were kind of meh about Persona and just kind of tweak them in ways that make it more bearable, I guess. Like Mementos, for example.
Mm-hmm.
There isn't really, at least yet, something like Mementos where you just like go and it's a long big labyrinth. But like there's more of like an open world area that you can wander around and do different missions in and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, it's like a nice evolution on the classic Atlas RPG formula, which is nice. I will get it. I promise, Jay, I will get this game. Just not yet.
Like, I keep hearing that, the story is amazing and all that. And I can't really comment on the story because I feel like I'm so early in the game that, like, if I were to say it's good or it's bad, it would be a disservice to the story because I'm not talking about its complete thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I get that. But so far.
Yeah.
Far.
What would the rating be so far, Jay?
Yeah.
It's tough because like right now I'm kind of in like the exposition portion of the game. So like I'm just learning about how everything works and what's going on and everything.
But
so like
to me, I think that the beginning of a game is actually the most important part because if the end of the game is the only good part of a game, for example, like if the end is what makes it a 10 out of 10, nobody's making it there because the beginning's not the best part.
That's
right?
true.
So pretty often your initial impressions are pretty indicative of the entire product.
Yeah, and like I think that in terms of like gameplay and that, like it's probably like a 9.5 out of 10 at this point.
Okay, that's in line with like what everybody's rating. That checks out.
Yeah, what's it sitting at right now on Metacritic?
Still? I think it's like a 93, 95
Our
or
holy
something
God,
like
Metacritic.
Hey,
the
man,
aggregizer of all
the proper aggregate of way better than Rotten Tomatoes. I'm coming for you, Rotten Tomatoes. You got
like,
nothing on
Cole's
Metacritic.
Like band that he's just starting up is the crew of people that just don't like Rotten Tomatoes.
I'm fine with Rotten Tomatoes. It's just Metacritic is more like accurate.
Yeah.
Well, they take the scores into account.
Yeah.
It's sitting at a 93 right now.
Okay.
Which is
really good.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's like up there with some of the best games
of all time
ever.
Yeah.
Did you guys see the thing that I shared too, where it was like
it already hit 1 million?
This game is the fastest game to hit 1 million. The fastest Atlas title to hit 1 million sold, and like the second fastest was Persona 3 Reload.
Yeah,
and that took 5 days. This took literally launch day,
a day
over 1 million.
Yeah.
So you could tell like Jay, you're doing a good job by hyping this up, getting the people
it's
going
funny
for the
because
past
like
month.
Yeah, it's funny because like I leading up to release, I barely saw any promotion for this game. This
game caught me off guard.
Yeah,
I didn't even know. For comparison's sake, Persona 4 Golden and Persona 5 both have 93s as well.
Okay.
Persona 5 Royal is 95. So
yeah, that checks out.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
no.
And the thing is, like video gamers, like Persona hits like the sweet spot where it's like, it's like just universally beloved, and like critics, it's a critic friendly game, is what I'd say. It's a game that critics are going to give a high score to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, that's good, Jay. I'm glad that you're enjoying. This
it's really good
game.
It's the start of the story is really interested me in where it's going to go, and I'm looking forward to seeing more about it. But enough about Metaphor ReFantazio. Mike, what have you been up to in the last 24 hours?
Do you want me to go minute by minute here for you?
Yes.
Second by second, actually.
I need it for my book.
Yeah.
Okay, so yesterday I woke up and went to work.
Okay.
And
boring.
I know. And then I came home and quickly shoved food in my face, recorded
I need a mental image. Which door did you come in through?
Yeah, which door?
My back door. I always come in through the back door.
Oh, yeah, I bet you did.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. Relevant to our show we reviewed today. And then I recorded a beautiful bonus with my beautiful boys. Cole and
Okay.
Jay here.
Okay.
Can I meet them?
Yeah. Can I meet them?
You are them, you oh, no, y'all got to do work inside. We did yesterday's bonus is pretty raunchy, so like I'm still in a little bit of a weird mood here. And then I went to sleep, and then I woke up and went back to work. And
Boring.
I decided to work overtime, and then here I am, a sleepy boy. But I had what?
And what are you doing tomorrow, Michael?
I'm going back to work. I offered my services. They were like, "Please, we need anybody for overtime," and I'm like,
can I have some more?
I'll take twice my daily rate of pay for doing little work." But
you did this. You did this to yourself.
I know. I'm a glutton for punishment.
Yeah.
The important thing that I'd like to discuss quickly, though, is when I got home, I was a sleepy boy today.
Mm-hmm.
And then I had a glorious nap. And boys, is there anything better than a glorious nap? And like, what's your ideal nap like?
Nap. Listen, I've never napped in my... That's not true. That's an absolute lie.
Yeah, you seem like a sleepy boy. You seem like a nappy.
I'm not a big napper, though. Like, I don't nap.
There was
Usually,
like a time two weeks ago where you were like, I didn't have a good sleep. Can I nap?
Yeah, that's
before
just
we record?
objectively not true.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I will sometimes, but like, I don't like...
Daily?
Generally speaking, I'm up until it's bedtime, and then I go to bed. Unless there's
That's
like
how I
some...
am too.
Unless there's some like extenuating circumstances, like I didn't have a good sleep, so I want to nap. A nap should be no longer than 1 hour, because if it's any longer than 1 hour, you get too groggy, and that's my perfect nap. Set my alarm for like 45 minutes, hit snooze a couple times, get up.
Interesting. I'm not a snooze hitter. I don't ever hit snooze. But I agree with you that once you get over an hour with naps, you run a risk. Today's nap for me was an hour and a half.
Ooh, that's a long one.
I know. I'm usually like a 30-minute to 40-minute napper, and it was like glorious. I woke up, it was like the sun was like a new shade of beautiful colors, and I was seeing new colors for the first time, and the birds were chirping, and I was just so well rested. It was great.
You know that like stereotypical like wind instrument song that plays in the like crack of dawn.
Yeah, chimes
movies.
are playing.
Yeah.
And
Mike's in like his canopy bed.
Yep, that's me.
Just
I was like a little princess.
Groggily
Princess in the
sits
Mike
up,
castle.
stretches, yawns.
Did the anime character like I don't know what noise they make. You know what I'm talking
about. A bird
about.
flies in, lands on his finger.
Yeah.
Gives him a little peck on the cheek and then flies away again, flares off.
That was me. Legitimately, that was me. Yeah. Jay, are you a napper? Because I know your sleep schedule is by far the most erratic amongst us.
Dare I say, up.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
So when I was a kid,
you went to bed last night when I left for work.
Yeah. What time did you go to bed last night, Jay?
Like 4:30-ish.
Yes, that's why I left for work at 4:30. So literally, as Jay was like, "I slumber now," I was like, "I wake."
I was playing a video game, so.
Okay, then it's fine. Yeah.
So video game time's different. It's something else.
Yeah.
You did this. You did this to yourself.
Hey, I had nowhere to be today, so I could sleep whenever the hell I wanted. I didn't need to sleep at all, but I did.
True.
You did. You do need to sleep though, Jay. But anyway,
I'm proud of you. I'm glad that you did sleep. Anyway, what's your naps like? What are your naps like?
So when I was in high school, my friends always said like I live off power naps. So like instead of like getting actual sleeps, like I'd be like I get like a 20-minute nap before school, and then go to school.
Yeah.
Then after school, I'd come home, get like another like half an hour nap, and then like just continue for the rest of the afternoon/evening, do whatever I need to do. Then
you just evolved past the need for sleep.
Yeah, pretty much.
You're just like a evolved being.
Mm-hmm.
Well, aren't there like studies that say like we're supposed to not actually sleep for 7 hours? Like our sleep schedule is like we've like
I think it's
we're
like
supposed to sleep
take,
for like
3
2
2-hour
hours.
naps.
Yeah.
Is like the ideal. But like there's no way I could do that. I'm too established in the 8 hours, and the world works on 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like you can't sleep for 2 hours in the middle of the afternoon.
Yeah,
I wish we could.
I've always
wish you
been of this mentality that like I wish our bodies didn't need sleep.
Sure.
Oh, yeah. I'd
Just
be
'cause,
into
like-
that. I'd be
Just
into
because
that.
like I feel like when I'm sleeping, I'm missing out on time that I could be spending doing something else.
If you think about it, you do spend like a good chunk, like almost half your life sleeping.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess a third of your life, 8 hours. Yeah.
Well, just think like even like your work schedule, right? Like
Yeah.
if you were able to stay up for 24 hours, like the 8 hours out of that you'd have to go into work would be like nothing. It'd just be like a
Exactly.
daily chore you have to
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Not like your whole life
Yeah.
working, showing up to the same place every day and doing the
Talking
same
to the
thing
same people, doing the
every
same
day.
thing every day for the rest of your life till you rot in the grave. I mean, what?
Yeah.
But if I were to nap, I like I set my alarm very weirdly. I won't like set a single alarm. I'll be like
Yeah.
an
the same.
hour, an hour and 15 minutes, an hour and 45 minutes, and then just like turn them off when like
how many alarms do you guys have?
1, 2.
5.
Oh, you're a one alarmer? Oh my God.
Yeah. I have one for the week, like Monday to Friday. Goes off at 6:30. Goes off at 6:25. Hit snooze once for 5 minutes. Get up at 6:30 every day. That's my schedule.
Okay.
And on the weekend, I have it set for 7:30.
You set an alarm on the weekend?
Yeah, because I don't want to sleep too late.
The thing is, Jay, and you won't understand this because you do not follow this mantra, but having an established like semi-schedule, it really helps. It really helps.
To be honest, if I didn't have an alarm, I'd probably still get up at like 8, 10. It's interesting. I've told you guys I did that 23andMe thing. The DNA testing. Part of it is like your ideal time to wake up, and mine is like 8, 10. And if I don't set an alarm, like that's usually when I get up. It's crazy that's like
uncanny. That's
in your
crazy.
DNA.
That's so
DNA.
accurate.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
So
That's
I'm curious what your guys's would be. Mike's would be 3:30 a.m.
No, I naturally get up at like 7, I'd say. Like on weekends.
Yeah.
Maybe earlier if I like go to bed early, like say if tomorrow when I'm really tired and I go to bed, I'll wake up Sunday at probably 7, just because like I went to bed early kind of thing.
Yeah. Jay's would say 2 p.m.
No, honestly, like I feel like
question mark.
I feel like mine would say 10 a.m. because like I always have this mentality that like if I'm waking up at 10 a.m., I woke up at a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
If
you know
I
what? If you wake up later than 10 a.m., I feel that my day's ruined. Actually,
Kind
At this
of.
point in my
Yeah.
life.
It's like half gone.
Yeah,
Even though I know
the
it's
days
not half gone.
It's not
like,
half
only a
gone.
couple hours.
You feel like I'm all off. I'm all off all day if I sleep.
It just
that way.
feels like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I sleep past
But
like
that's
9.
That's because your internal clocks are much earlier than mine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. But
Like
they've been trained to be like that.
Logically, I know getting up at 10, like I've still got a whole day ahead of me, but it just feels wrong.
Yeah. No, I agree.
Yeah.
Like even when I wake up at like 2:30 p.m., I'm like, damn, I slept too long. I slept.
Yeah,
I got up too late.
yes, you did, because the day is over at that point.
Yeah.
Just go
Yeah,
back to
that
bed.
is half gone.
Yeah.
That's half your day
Well,
is gone.
I think like noon is the benchmark of like if you wake up at noon, you basically slept half the day.
No, because like if you
Yeah.
wake up if most people wake up like 8, let's say, so 4 till noon, that's 4 hours. You're not going to bed at 4. The
Yeah,
midway
but,
point of the
unless
day is
you're
really,
Jay
like 2 or
last
3
night.
p.m. Yeah.
Specifically.
Yeah.
Specifically last night.
Well,
Jay went to bed
yeah.
at 4. Yeah. I don't know.
But anyway,
Some
that's
people-
enough about sleeping times. Cole, did you have something you wanted to share before we talk our regular scheduling programming?
Let me tell you about sleeping. I love sleeping. No,
It's the one thing that unites us all. You must sleep and you must eat.
yeah, not really. No,
Once
you guys know
unfortunate.
me. You guys know me. I just get hyper fixated and fascinated
Flight
with
sim.
things.
Yeah.
So flight sim. I don't
I feel
wanna
like
keep
you've just been
talking
like
about it.
bouncing back and forth between flight sim and farm sim for like.
What if there was a
Too
game
long
that
now.
it, like allowed you to do both? Like you
Like,
had
Spray-
you had like
like,
a
Does
farm
flight sim
sim,
let you do that?
and then like
Does
you
flight
could get into a plane and fly the plane to somewhere else and farm there.
Yeah, but Jay, like there is like spray, like plane spraying on crops.
Yeah, I was
So
just gonna
that's
say,
already
can you
a
do
thing.
that? Can you do that in Farm Sim? Can you fly the plane?
No, they don't.
Across?
Maybe there's like a DLC that you could download for one of those planes, but
I bet you there's a mod.
There's got to be a
probably.
mod for it. That's
there's
if
so
there's not,
much stuff.
There's the $1 million idea.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant.
I know in Farm Sim 24, one of the game modes is going to be like firefighting. So like with the big like scoop planes where they like fly down, scoop up a bunch of water, and then dump it on a forest fire.
Well, that's
cool.
Yeah. So
can you fly the plane?
What does that have to do with Farm Sim?
Oh, that's
Flight
cool.
Sim.
Flight Sim.
I think you said Farm Sim.
Did I? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, listener.
There's two of Cole's hyperfixations that are coming out with new games in 2024, apparently.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been listening to Billy Joel recently. What a songwriter, I tells you, boys.
Yeah,
Great guy.
It's Billy Joel time of year for Cole, apparently.
It's Billy Joel time of year.
Yeah.
Sports. How about them? How about them Mets? How about them Mets?
And now
cheering
sports.
For the Mets. I'm cheering for the Mets in this year's MLB playoffs, which this has been the death nail for the Mets.
Yeah, I was going to say this is very
them.
bold of you to bring it up on the podcast because that has
hockey
not
season
gone
also
well.
just started.
Hockey season just started. I think our local team is doing their home opener tonight. Actually,
I thought they've been on the road, haven't they? Because
they played Edmonton the other night.
Yeah, they dominated Edmonton the other day.
Destroyed them.
Yeah,
6-0.
Yeah, take that, Edmonton fans.
Yeah, take that, you stupid Edmonton fans.
Yeah. Suck that, Connor McJesus.
That's right.
Well, score a goal, Connor. Yeah, goober. Yeah, I'll cheer for him in the playoffs, but not in the regular season. Do you guys like sports?
Yes.
No. I mean, I'm whelmed by sports.
I thought about this like on our show structure notes here. We've got sports discussion, and I thought it would be interesting to talk about like some of our maybe our favorite like sports memories that we have. So that kind of opens it up. Then Jay, like you can talk about sometimes when you maybe go over to your friend Cole and Nug Deep's house and you watch wrestling with him and are
we
Mike
including wrestling in this?
Sure,
wrestling's a sport. Sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you want to include car racing,
sports adjacent.
Yeah, I would include it.
Okay,
I would.
It's like a physical feat. It's like I'd say it meets the bar for me. Yeah, of a sport.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now, Mike, when was the last time the Green Bay Packers won a Super Bowl? Why don't you regale us on the last time you saw your precious Green Bay Packers lift the Lombardi Trophy?
Well, it was the day I became a NFL fan, actually, and a fan of the Green Bay Packers. I didn't watch sport. I didn't really watch sports much growing up. And then I went over to a high school classmate's place with Nug Deep, and we walked because he's always been he's been a massive sports guy for as long as I've known him. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, let's go watch the Super Bowl. So we watched it, and it was the Packers and Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl. And I picked which team I was rooting for pretty well at the beginning of the game. And they happened to win the Super Bowl, and then they've never won it since. So I still wait. We had a Hall of Fame quarterback for the entire time that I've been a fan of them. And we only seen him win it once. And now he's gone. He's on the Jets now. And he's
at least he's doing well.
Now.
At least he's doing good
playing
in
a
New
completely
York.
different sport. I know that the Jets are a football team, but I want to make the joke.
Yeah. Well, our Jets are named after those Jets. It's interesting.
Oh, are they?
Tangentially. Yeah.
Weirdly. Yeah, it's like a weird little kind of. Yeah.
Because the original owner of our Jets was a fan of the New York Jets. And he's like, I'm just going to call my team the Jets.
And then we also have like Air Force history in our city too. So it wasn't totally out of left field, but it was kind of like,
There are many other things you could have called this team.
Yeah, like the Falcons. They should have been called the Falcons. I stand by it to this day.
That'd be a great name. But I think
because that
should have been called the Forks.
Let me tell you about why they should have been called the Falcons. This is Cole's Canada fact. This one's for you.
Okay.
This one's for you, Super Mexi. The first gold medal, Canadian gold medal in ice hockey was won by back then it was club teams that would play a tournament, and then whoever won this tournament would represent Canada. And the first gold medal for Canada was won by the Winnipeg Falcons, and it was a it was all like army players. Yeah, and they should have called them the Falcons. That would have been like historically good and different too.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay.
I kind of like the Jets because there's not a lot of teams that are named after like non-alive things.
yeah,
Right. Like,
yeah, that's true.
Like there's not a lot of teams named after machinery, I guess is the way I'd put that.
Yeah,
In terms
let's
of
think.
sports. It's kind of cool that they're named after
What
a
if-
fighter, like a jet, like a
What if
jet
we were
plane.
called like the Terminators?
That would be good.
That'd be kind of
Awesome.
sick, bro. And they're all robots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're just like
Yeah.
all, they're all, the RoboCops, they're all cyborgs.
Oh man, you know what I can't wait for? And this is tangentially related to sports. You gentlemen might agree. You know what's a great sport?
What's that?
BattleBots. I can't wait for BattleBots 2.0 with like humanoid androids. That'll
Like
be sweet.
Osimo going in and fighting, I don't know, what's another humanoid shaped robot? Stephen Hawking? Yeah, he's dead. He's dead.
No,
It's fine.
what's that dog robotic from the university, Boston University there? That one.
Oh.
That one will fight. Yeah.
Yeah. Boston
Fight to the
Dynamics.
death. Yeah.
Can't remember what the. I found out something interesting. In the last 3 decades, the Packers have only had 3 starters.
Yeah.
Brett Favre, Hall of Famer. Aaron Rodgers, Hall of Famer. And whoever their guy is right now.
Charmander.
Charmander.
No, what's his name?
Jordan Love.
Jordan Love. Thank you.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No,
Interesting
yeah, that's
thing.
cool. You know what's even crazier, Cole?
Hmm.
The Pittsburgh Steelers, the other team in there, have only
Yeah.
had 3 head coaches. Period. They've been around since the
Really?
60s. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
How long is Tomlin still their coach? Man,
Yeah.
I haven't watched football in so long.
Yeah.
How are the Broncos? How are my
crazy to me.
Broncos?
Terrible.
Who's
They
the
just drafted
quarterback for
Bo
the
Nix.
Broncos?
He's terrible. The weird thing is they're actually winning, but they're like not. Look, it's not one of those like when like sports teams like win, but it's like okay, you're clearly not going to win the championship, but somehow
Yeah.
you're winning. This is kind of only hurting you to win right now.
Yeah.
In the
Well,
long
I mean,
run.
they haven't exactly been able to like find a good quarterback in a while. So,
Well, they had Russell Wilson.
well, they had Tim Tebow a long
He was
time
terrible.
ago.
That's true.
How are the
We should
Rams
bring back
doing?
Tebow.
The Rams?
The Rams?
Yeah.
They're
are they?
okay.
The Dodge
so.
Rams.
The Dodge Rams.
Dodge Rams of St. Louis.
Yeah. Yeah. Football.
I don't know NFL, man.
No, I mean, it's okay. Me
Jay,
neither.
tell me a sports memory though. Wrestling memory? Question?
Yeah,
mark?
no, I guess I
Wrestling?
could do wrestling. I remember watching. So I didn't really watch wrestling like throughout my entire childhood. I got into it when I was 16.
Mhm.
And I remember watching my first WrestleMania, and it was awesome. Aside from the fact that the Undertaker lost at WrestleMania for the first time.
Can't have that.
No, that's not not acceptable.
But
Yeah.
it was a really cool night though, because a guy who like even like in real life the company didn't want to like push as like a main event guy. They thought he was just like just kind of like an opening attraction kind of guy.
Mhm.
Became WWE champion in the main event of the 30th WrestleMania.
Who
And
was
like
that?
it was Daniel Bryan was his name.
Who?
Whom?
Literally who?
His name's Daniel Bryan?
Yeah.
Man with 2 first names.
Yeah, 2 first
Can't
names.
trust that.
Questionable. Can't
Uh,
trust that.
He's honestly one of the best wrestlers of all time.
Yeah, well, he's
Like,
got 2
but
first
never
names.
genuine-
That's not a
Only.
very inspiring name.
So he is now in a different company, AEW, and his ring name is Bryan Danielson. That's also his
Okay.
real name.
Okay. It just reminds
Son
me of
of
a guy I
Daniel.
used to know whose name was Wayne Smith, and another guy I knew who the guy who I used to know whose name was Dave Smith. And it was like, that's the most like sus name of all time. That's so obviously fake.
Yeah,
It
it's
was-
like
it was
John
his name.
Smith.
Yeah.
It's like
Questionable.
John Doe.
John Doe. Yeah.
Yeah.
I am a human.
Yeah.
Here's my
hello,
human
fellow
name.
human names.
Human unit.
Tell me more about your famous wrestler, John Robinson or whatever his name.
Daniel
Whatever the hell
Bryan.
his name is.
No,
Daniel Bryan.
just Seeing this guy that like the company was shitting on become like WWE champion in the main event of WrestleMania, just like the biggest moment of all time, was so cool.
Because it's WWE, I have to ask Jay.
Yeah.
Was the company shitting on him, or was that part of the
No, it was genuinely the company shitting on him, because like initially they didn't want him to even be in the main event, but the wrestling fans were like, no, we want him in the main event, so they changed the plans like last minute.
Okay.
And then like a ton of other external shit happened that made that possible. So
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It doesn't sound real to me. You know wrestling's fake, Jay?
No, really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That's
you should
impossible.
You should feel bad for enjoying things. I hate that.
Right.
Just let people.
Okay, hold on a second. All of the people that are on the internet that rag on people that like something that's fake, if you're gonna do that, you also need to go up to people who watch like any kind of fictional TV show and be like, you know, that's fake, right?
Yeah, it's just
because
as
it's
goofy.
the same. It's the same thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I'm with you. I was being sarcastic.
Two anime fans here,
I know.
Jay. We're with you on this.
Yeah. No, and I've always said, like one of my primal joys in life is hearing a wrestling fan talk about wrestling.
Yeah,
I wish I could be as enthusiastic about something as Nugdeep is about like mid 2000s wrestling.
Yeah, honestly, the mid 2000s is like one of the coolest eras of wrestling because you had such a stacked card. Like you had like.
This is what I'm talking about.
You had The Rock, you had Stone Cold, you had Triple H, you had The Undertaker. Like just so many really cool guys.
Just banger after banger after banger.
Yeah.
Just so many cool guys. I love it.
Kurt Angle was like one of the best wrestlers of all time, who's also like, he genuinely won gold medals at the Olympics.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah. Huh. Interesting.
Yeah. And then also like watching WrestleMania 40 with my boys this past year.
My first ever WrestleMania. Cool. That was something.
Can I meet them?
A lot of fun. Yeah.
No.
Okay.
No. I gatekeep my friends.
We know.
Keep them.
We know.
Keep them separated.
Yeah.
I guess it's my turn to talk about one of my favorite sporting memories. Do you guys remember when our team made it to the playoffs for the second time since they came back?
Our hockey team?
And yes. And the city that we reside in, which I think I've already said the name of in this episode.
It's been pretty clear. It's been pretty clear. Yeah.
Yeah. The city was like on cloud nine. Yeah. It was the most like, I don't know. There was just this special feeling in the air. And it was, I don't know if I'd count it so much as a sports memory as like a summer memory. It was like,
kind of like a memory of living here kind of thing.
It was like a month and a half of the city just like partying. And I think that's so much fun.
The best part about sports, honestly, is that like when the team's in the playoffs, even if you're not like all the kind of like casual fans who kind of only watch in the playoffs and stuff really come out of the woodwork, and like that's not a bad thing to me. It's just like the whole city like unites over this one team and trying to like cheer for them, and it's just like such a cool vibe. Like you walk around, everybody's on the same team, you're all cheering. It's a lot of fun and it's a great thing. It's cities that don't have like big professional sports franchises. It's something you're missing out on, but I guess down south they have college football. It's kind of like that, but you know what I'm saying, guys? Like it's cool. Yeah. It's like a little festival, the whole city for like a couple months.
It was also like really big when our hockey team came back. Like we hadn't had a hockey team for
they took
years.
Them away.
Yeah,
took them away from
2011.
Us.
They brought them back. They brought him back.
I remember when our hockey team came back, I lied to one of my friends saying that I had season tickets.
What was the point
he believed me.
Yeah, it's just to flex on him. Just say, I got season tickets for him. Yeah. My family.
Can I come? No.
I'm among the cool people. Yeah. I only got one. When I said season tickets, I meant tickets.
Season ticket.
Many tickets of one seat.
Yeah, and by season I meant one game. I have one ticket for one game.
I went to the home open. No, I didn't.
To be honest, I don't even like going to live sports anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I haven't been to a live sporting event. I think the last time was when I went with you guys to that baseball game.
Oh,
Baseball's
live sports
different
are the
though,
best.
but it's like it's not even like
Baseball's not even a sport.
Yeah, it's not even a sport.
But wrestling's
it's a beer
a sport?
drinking and hot dog. No, it's a beer drinking and hot dog eating program.
Yeah.
That's what going to a live baseball game is. You're just going there for eating and drinking.
I say a baseball game is basically just a patio. You're just sitting on a patio.
You've nailed it. You've nailed it. That's what a baseball game is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Except for when the ball almost hits you in the head.
Then it's a well, no, it could happen on a patio. You could get shot on a patio.
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, like, if the ball game is good, then like, hey, extra entertainment, you know?
Yeah,
like if the game's close and you get sucked into it. Yeah, I like going to ball games. I didn't go to any at all this summer though.
Neither did I.
Neither did I.
Disappointing.
And winter is coming upon us. And it's sad.
Mhm.
It's sad.
I want to go to a hockey game this year.
Maybe. We've got 2 hockey teams in the city.
We do.
There's
maybe
the
the three of
cheaper
us.
option too.
Maybe 3 of us will go to one. That'd be fun.
That would be
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going to see the Packers actually down south in December.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in Minneapolis. In yeah. What a beautiful city. I love Minneapolis. I'm excited to go back.
Never been to Minneapolis. I've always wanted to go, but like
Never been to Minneapolis?
No.
Let's go. Let's take them.
You have your passport?
Yeah.
It's an option.
Mhm.
you just like handcuff me, throw me in your trunk, and just go.
I mean, there is a back seat, but that does sound way better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that just
yeah.
that
Can't hear your
sounds
screams from
that
back
sounds
there.
more wild.
Who are you going with, Mike? Just your
My
family
father.
unit?
Taking my father,
you,
yeah.
you and your dad are going.
Yeah.
Nice.
Little
We couldn't figure out what to get him for his birthday. And I was like, I know he likes to go down there for around that time of year. And I was like, he brought it up before that they're playing. And I was like, well, maybe I'll buy him tickets. And here we are.
Yeah. Nice. Have you seen the Packers before?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I
thought you had.
Funny Packers story actually is when we went to see Radwimps in Toronto, we stopped in Lambeau or Green Bay to see Lambeau Field. And I was literally standing on Lambeau Field, like on the turf of Lambeau Field. And then I pull out my phone and it said Aaron Rodgers has been traded to the New York Jets. And I'm like, oh. And I like told the tour guide and they were like clearly deflated. And I was
Deflate gate.
But I think they kind of knew already. Like they didn't seem shocked. They kind of were just like, yeah. Anyway.
Well, I mean, he had been requesting it, hadn't he?
Yeah, there's writing on the wall. Yeah.
Man, does that guy? Do you think he'd get booed if he went back to Green Bay?
No, he's a hero still.
Are you sure?
I don't think so.
If he requested
He
a
kinda left
trade,
on-
like I
he
feel
left
like
on
that kind
semi
of
bad terms.
Yeah, that's not
But
great.
I think the time there's been enough time now. And the funny thing is like we kind of have a historical example of how this is going to play out already because his predecessor, the first quarterback in the last 30 years, like you said, Brett Favre, did the exact same thing. He got upset that they drafted Aaron Rodgers and then he got traded. He went to the New York Jets.
He went to the Jets.
Yeah, I know. So in a couple years, look forward to Aaron Rodgers and the Vikings because that's history.
I forgot
repeats
about
itself.
that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Huh.
And then Brett Favre sent a picture of his wiener to a reporter and then kind of got in trouble and then went to the Vikings. Anyway.
Yeah. Interesting. I think you can boo somebody while they're playing and then kind of bury the hatchet after they've retired.
Okay.
Like, when he's
That's how you see
retired,
it.
then like he can come back, they retire as number 12.
Yeah.
And then at that point, kind of like with Patrick Waugh in Montreal, after he got traded, they hated him. And then when he retired, now he's a hero again.
Yeah. When they're not playing, you can it's easier to forgive. You you just remember the positives, right? Time heals.
Or Vince
all
Carter on the Raptors right now, because they're going to retire his number. Yeah.
Timo Solani on the Jets, but he was always a hero.
Yeah. Even when he was playing. Yeah. He's a finished
People love
flash.
that guy. People love that guy.
Yeah.
It's great.
How could you not? How could you not, Jay?
Who?
Timo Solani?
Ram?
Who?
Do you guys think we
got
should
him.
get into our announcements that we have?
Ooh, announcements.
Oh yeah. What announcements?
Sure. Yeah.
Remind me. I know, but like remind the listeners.
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's pretend. Let's pretend like we don't know, and then you, Mike, tell us as if like just pretend like we don't, and we'll act surprised.
Oh, yeah. Because you guys clearly know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Obviously.
Yeah, totally. Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
So, essentially, what I'm talking about is that this review that we're doing today, free, is our listener's choice review. And the way we've set up our review schedule is that we kind of do one per month. So we'll do each, and then it'll go. Each of us has picked a review where we forced our co-host to watch a show.
Yeah.
And we'll nominate a show for listener's choice in some kind of category. And free was the one that won our sports category, right?
Right.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
since we don't have any upcoming reviews after this one,
Mm-hmm.
historically, this would be about the time when we reveal what we're going to be watching for the next 3 months or so.
Hold on. You lost me. Can you repeat that again, please?
No, he wants
think
us
we
to
should
tell us what
reveal-
we're going to review.
Yeah. Hopefully you guys have
Jay.
figured
That was
that
due
out
today?
ahead of time. That's right. That was due on my desk today, Garrity-san.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I got
Okay,
one.
you guys go first.
I actually don't remember what order we usually go in. You're usually the person who's the most rules based. So what is actually the
So my review's first, then Mike's,
Okay.
then Cole's.
I knew he'd know.
Yeah,
I
well,
knew
your
he'd
bit's over now, Jay.
Yeah, my bit's been ruined.
All right,
So,
Jay, what's
Jay-
our next review?
tease it, and then we'll talk about it. Yeah.
Okay. So my next review is a 12-episode show
Okay.
aired in spring 2015
Okay. Good start.
by Studio Bones.
Okay.
Is available on Crunchyroll
Very good.
with a average and mean score of 74%.
Okay.
Okay.
And genres include action, comedy, and supernatural.
What was the studio again?
Studio
Bones.
Bones.
Bones. No bones about it, eh?
No bones about it.
This fish is full of bones.
I'm always bad at knowing like what things I can't think of names I'm bad with names. I can't think of names off the top of my head. And then you say Studio Bones, and I'm like, the first thing I think of is Psyche K. I have no clue if that's bones or not.
The first thing I think of is soup. Save the bones. We're going to boil
save
and
the,
make some
save the
soup.
bones for soup.
Well, gentlemen, we are reviewing Soup.
Yes! Finally!
I can't wait for Chicken Noodle. It's gonna be the best episode.
So should I reveal what it actually is, or
If you
are we gonna
want,
just,
I mean,
Yeah.
if you
just
want to, or we could
Yeah,
just like
yeah.
not, you could just
okay.
not tell us. Yeah.
So our first review following free is a show with an OP by Bump of Chicken
Oh.
called Blood Blockade Battlefront.
Oh, I actually
Ooh.
thought about this one. Honestly, when I was looking through the list of things possible to review, I actually thought about this one. That
I've
is
been
hype.
thinking about watching this one for a while.
Yeah.
Actually.
Yeah,
Good pick, Jay.
I've been listening to the OP on loop for like the past 3 months, and I'm like,
What's it about? Like, what's kind of
we
like
gotta
the quick
watch this.
synopsis of
So
it?
for a little synopsis of the show, a breach between Earth and the Netherworlds has opened up over the city of New York, trapping New Yorkers and creatures from other dimensions in an impenetrable bubble. They've lived together for years in a world of crazy crime sci-fi sensibilities. Now, someone is threatened to sever the bubble, and a group of stylish superhumans is working to keep it from happening.
Ooh, stylish.
I like superhumans. I like stylish. Honestly, like I'm kind of excited. I have a feeling I'm really gonna like that show.
I'm looking forward to this. Also, the OP by Bump of Chicken is really good.
Yeah,
it's
I mean-
it's Bump of Chicken.
It's Bump
Yeah.
of Chicken.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hello,
I
Hello
like
World
them.
goes hard.
They give me
Yeah, they're
chicken
good.
bumps. I mean goosebumps.
Yeah.
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 So look
yeah.
forward to that show next.
Soon. Next month.
Next month.
November.
Yeah.
November. So that means
November.
December. December is Michael's.
Yes, I think it falls at the end. I think it. I don't remember how it works. Anyway, my show that I have selected for us to watch is.
Mm-hmm.
See, I'm doing something weird here. It's a show that all three of us have watched,
Oh.
Okay.
and that we've discussed rewatching before.
Okay.
All three of us have watched this show early in our anime days.
Okay.
It's by a studio, A1 Pictures.
I think I know what it is.
It has a
Okay.
mean score, or an average score of 84%. Genres are drama, music, romance, slice of life. And there's lots of good tags on here, including love triangle, rehabilitation, classical music, coming of age, primarily teen cast. It is a show I will not lie to you about.
Is it
That we
22
all-
episodes long?
That we all enjoy when we first watched it. We are going to be watching the 2014 show, Your Lie in April. And if you
Nice.
don't know what Your Lie in April is, it's piano prodigy Arima dominated the competition of all child musicians knew his name. But after his mother, who was also his instructor, passed away, he had a mental breakdown while performing at a recital. This resulted in him no longer being able to hear the sound of his piano playing. 2 years later, Kosei hasn't touched the piano and views the world without any flair or color. He was content at living his life out with his good friends Tsubaki and Watari until one day a girl changed everything. Kaori is a pretty free-spirited violinist whose playing style reflects her personality. Kaori helps Kosei return to the music world and show that it should be free and mold-breaking, unlike the structured and rigid style Kosei was used to. You guys enjoyed this when you watched it last time. 22 episodes available, I think, everywhere, pretty much.
I do recall watching this, and I do recall enjoying it. So I'm looking forward to dashing Jay's hopes and dreams of me giving one of his favorite shows a good review, because I'm full of spite.
Mike
guys
also
know
likes
this.
this show.
Yeah. The thing that I remember us talking about this show, and I think all three of us had said, like, we kind of wanted to rewatch it to see if it still holds
up.
a candle to what we thought when we first watched it, because it's kind of one of those shows that people watch like very early in their anime careers,
Yeah.
and I think it'd be a good one to revisit.
Yeah. Well, this is a good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like the idea of doing reviews on shows to revisit as well. That's, I like it. That's a good way to end off the year. You know, it's a good way to start the year, though,
Tell me.
With another anime
with another anime review picked by me.
by Cole.
Oh,
Yeah,
best
that's
host.
right. The host, one of them, anyway.
The host at the most.
You guys, I'm going to give us a little bit of a break.
Okay.
My
Okay.
review is going to be a movie, a 1
Oh.
hour and 34-minute movie, and that probably includes credits, so
Okay.
it's probably even shorter. But it is from everyone's favorite studio, Clap.
What? You got the
that's
what?
right. Yeah, but its average score is sitting at an 81. So is its mean score. A nice round 81 average and mean score. Came out in 2021.
Oh, my guess was
Any
wrong.
any guesses? Any guesses? Mike, I'm
I
curious
thought
what
it was
your
gonna be
guess
Perfect
was.
Blue.
Oh no,
So
no.
wrong. So incredibly wrong.
So incorrect. Jay,
Uh,
Jay's searching.
yeah, I don't have a guess yet.
Yeah, I can see Jay scrambling. He's
Movies.
searching.
Well, I
movies are
can't-
my blind spot.
I can't let you look anymore. We're gonna review this one. I own a physical copy of it. I think Jay even owns a physical copy. So thank goodness for that. We're gonna review Pompo the Cinephile.
Oh,
Because I've had it for a long time and I want to watch it. Yeah, there it is.
There you go.
Okay, so getting out of the movie capital, Nollywood.
Nollywood.
Get it? Like Hollywood? Pompo has been shooting one B-grade entertainment flick after the other, and that anyone would enjoy. One day, Pompo's movie buff assistant, Jean, spots a new script written by Pompo, and is moved by its exquisite story. In a fit of passion, he proclaims, "I want to see this as a finished work in theaters as soon as possible." That's what he says.
Whoa.
However, Pompo tells him, "So you shoot the film." Thus, Gene takes on his first directing gig. Meanwhile, Natalie, an ordinary girl who just arrived in town with a movie actress dream, is discovered by Pompo, etc., etc. I'm always interested in movies, and this is well received. I'm a big fan of the film industry as well, so I'm hoping to get a lot out of this one. And now it'll sit on my shelf for another 3 months unwatched until January when I am forced to watch it.
There you go. Perfect.
Thank you, gentlemen.
I might have to borrow one of your Blu-rays because I don't think I can stream this anywhere, can I?
No. No, you cannot.
No.
I can rent it for $3.99 from Google Play if I'd like. Maybe I'll do that.
Well, it's a movie. Yeah. It's a movie too. So, I'm going off the board a little bit with this one, but
we could also all meet up and watch it.
Whoa, that would be crazy.
Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you, Jay?
Yeah, you'd like it if we cuddled and watched a movie.
Yeah. Got a big blanket.
So would I, though. So would I.
Pulled a mattress down into Michael's basement and just cuddled.
Yeah, the little pillow fort.
Little sleepover.
Hell yeah, brothers. Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, we could throw popcorn into each other's mouths.
Yes.
Yeah.
Catch it.
And other things.
Into each other's mouths, or
like Reese's Pieces?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mike got it.
What were you thinking? Yeah. What were you thinking, Jay?
Yeah.
I'm the one who came up with it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I've been reading a lot of Gal Gohan today, so my brain is all over the place.
Mm-hmm. I've been watching a lot of wet boys swimming.
That too. That's going to be us the second half.
On an unrelated note, we should probably review Free, but that's in the second half.
Yeah,
I'm a little upset with this show. It says it's free, but I had to pay money to watch it. Like, what the hell?
Perfect drop.
Yeah. And on that note, what do you guys say we take a little break?
Got it!
Break.
Welcome back.
I was just gonna say something nice about Hunter x Hunter, but I guess we'll.
About Hunter x Hunter?
Yeah.
Hunter x Hunter.
Where'd that come from?
Scrolling through Twitter.
Are you having a stroke right now?
Yeah.
Huh?
I thought there was another chapter coming out.
Yeah, it's gonna be like a volume's worth of chapters. So
Yeah, right. I'll believe it when I see it.
that's how it's been for ever since Hunter x Hunter went on hiatus the first time.
Yeah, well, are there hot boys swimming in Hunter x Hunter?
Yes.
I don't think so. There are in other shows, I've been told.
Mike's in deep
You got me
thought.
thinking. I'm like, is there hot boys swimming in Hunter x Hunter? That threw me for a loop. I'm like trying to think of it now.
Depends on who you are. Some people
Was
might
even a
think
hot
so.
boy? Probably Killua is the hot boy in that one.
If you got to think about it, then
Yeah, probably not. Probably not.
no, probably not. Well, it's a good thing we watched Free, because let me tell you,
There's some muscly boys.
It's a show. It's a
They're
show.
well defined
Yeah.
for 16-year-olds.
Yeah. Well, I mean, hey, they're swimming. They're
They are
swimming.
swimming. They're swimming.
They're
Yes.
swimming. They're swamming. They're flipping and flapping.
Boys be swimming.
Okay. We're reviewing Free. You get it.
welcome
You get it.
back.
Yeah.
We're talking about
What
free.
is free, Cole? What's that anyway?
What is Free? Well, let me tell you. The story revolves around Haruka Nanase, a boy who has always loved to be immersed in the water and also to swim in it.
Nice.
Before graduating from elementary school, he participated in a swimming tournament along with his fellow swimming club members, Makoto Tachibana, Nagisa Hazuki, and Rin Matsuoka. Hey, I did it. I read them all.
You did
Hey,
it,
good
Cole.
After achieving victory, each of the boys went their separate ways. Now time has passed, and in the middle of their uneventful high school lives, Rin appears and challenges Haruka to a match, showing Haruka his overwhelming power. Not wanting it to end like this, Haruka gathers together Makoto and Nagisa once again, bringing the band back together again, and brings in a new member named Ryugazaki.
You did it.
You nailed it.
To create the I was doing so good.
Oh,
Iwatobi Highway School Swimming Club in order to defeat Reen.
So close.
Mm-hmm.
I'm disappointed in myself. This is, of course, from Kyoto Animations, so it goes without saying.
Studio.
I don't even think this needs to be in the review. This show is gorgeous.
Yeah.
Sitting at a 71% currently on AniList.
Mm-hmm.
Just before we get into the review proper, like how long did it take you guys to watch this? How was the viewing experience for you guys, Mike?
Well, me and Shazana started this one earlier this week, and I finished the last 2 episodes today. But I think I watched it in 3 sittings. So,
yeah, that's pretty much how I started it on Sunday, finished it yesterday. Oh no, today. Sorry. But that's more because when you start Flight Sim, you're basically locked in what you're doing for like
what
2
happens
hours.
in Flight Sim stays in Flight Sim.
Yeah, don't ask me any more questions unless it's about my peripheral equipment. I'm happy to tell you more.
In it yet?
There are downloads where you can get a UFO.
Nice.
Free. Yeah. Off
Free.
the UFOs.
Free.
Yeah,
Free.
Yeah.
I found it an easy watch. I feel like it really picks up as the show moves along. So that's what I would say. Just as a quick
little
bang,
comment.
there it is.
Yeah. And
Jay, what about you?
Yeah, I watched the first half of the show yesterday and then the second half today.
Reluctantly.
Thankfully, I got through the first half before Metaphor came out, so I just watched the first half, then was like, Metaphor, let's go.
And then he was like, oh no, I have to watch more Hot Boys swimming and not Hot Boys fighting demons.
Trying to become king.
Sure.
Yeah, and I kind of agree with Cole's sentiment. The second half was a much easier watch than the first half.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that too. How many episodes would you guys say? Like, if you're recommending this to someone, like, how many episodes would you say they should try if they haven't watched it yet?
I found myself getting more invested towards like episode 5-ish, I think.
Yeah.
I do like a lot of the early stuff in the show. Like one thing I'd say is the show was surprisingly funny. Like I found myself laughing at it quite often.
I agree.
But like it really starts to like get some traction.
Yeah.
Towards the middle.
Yeah,
we're starting to get into the character
once
drama.
the band like gets together in earnest, the show really picks up because all the exposition's out of the way.
Yeah.
And it's able to put all the character drama and the character work in the forefront.
Yeah, you know, the first 4 episodes, it's all about like what is water? How do you even swim?
Does the main character Haruka like water?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to know. The answer is very much
resoundingly yes.
Yeah.
Would you guys mind actually if we just change a little bit from our normal structure here? I think this would be a good point to say, like, who do you think this show's for?
Me.
Yeah. It kind of feels like a natural fit at the beginning here to kind of like say, like, if you haven't watched it, like, here's the people who might want to watch it.
Listen, like, of course, I think this show has a very wide appeal. Of course, the character designs appeal to a certain type of person.
Yeah,
as well.
Let's not beat around the bush. It's definitely got like a lot of what's it called? The people who love
Fujoshi.
Boys love Fujoshi. It's definitely a show it's 100% targeted at Fujoshi.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not boys love, I wouldn't say.
It's not.
So
Yeah, it's very clear that like there's not really any romantic involvement between the boys, but like there's like sprinkles of like an idea there.
Yeah.
I think it's just fan service from in a female's perspective. Even where the female character in this show is basically like the female viewer, just constantly like ogling the boys.
She's basically
it's kind of funny because she's basically like the insert character for the viewer. I think a little bit.
Yeah, one thing I want to say is like the ladies at Kyoto Animation must have had so much fun animating this.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they always animate cute girls, and it's like, no, now it's our turn.
It's cute boys. Let's go.
I would say that this anime, as someone who enjoys sports anime, I would say this is one of the I almost wouldn't recommend it to people who like sports anime.
Oh, really?
And
I was going to say like you
Yeah.
could market it towards the sports people too, because you get a good sense of like the camaraderie of it and kind of the end message is like, you know, for the team.
It has the interpersonal stuff of sports, but it's lacking on what a lot of sports anime do, where they kind of explain the sport a little bit to you and make you care about the sport itself. I feel like the swimming in this was kind of secondary.
Yeah, I feel like the way I looked at it was like it was a show about swimming rather than being a swimming show, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a show that they swim in,
Yeah.
but like that, it's mostly a drama and comedy. It's
Yeah.
nice life.
You know what I would say this show would be catered towards a lot?
Yeah, who's it for?
It's very much like Sound Euphonium.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I would say.
Yeah, I can
like
see
it's just the way it's structured as well. Like, and you get a lot of like subversive things, like maybe you think something's going to happen, but something else happens instead. It kind of like steers you in opposite directions. The humor is pretty similar as well. Like it's KyoAni and KyoAni doing KyoAni things. So the comparisons are definitely there, but I got some vibes from Sound Euphonium in this as well. And yeah, cute boys too. So
Yeah. The big one I can think of that I'd say if you like this, you might like that. Or if you liked this, you might like Free is Yuri on Ice. I feel like is kind of the closest, nearest comparable thing. Because it's kind of like a little bit of like cute boys hugging and kissing on each other a little bit. A little bit of drama, a little bit of sports, a little bit of all the above. And it's beautiful too. It's a beautiful show to watch. So
yeah.
The other one that I kind of thought of was Haikyuu, just because like kind of the same idea of like cute boys doing sports thing.
Yep.
Never gonna watch IQ though, so
I know we start chance now.
Just the way it goes. Okay, guys, let's before we blow our load. I mean, what? Let's get into the review proper, because I don't want to do too many comparisons and recommendations, because that is something that we will discuss in a bit. But first, let's talk about our characters in this show. This show has characters. Our main character is, of course, Haru. Notice all of the main characters have girlish names. That's why they're all destined to be teammates. Even at the end, one of the other characters, their first name is revealed, or their given name is revealed, and it's a girlish name too. Yeah, I thought that was funny. So Haruka he is just obsessed with water, not even necessarily swimming.
Just
water in general.
It feels like
yeah.
the swimming part, he just wants to be in the water, and swimming is just what you do in the water. It's kind of how I put it.
Yeah. And he only swims free.
Yeah.
Freestyle.
Yeah.
He's got 2 lines, and that's it. And it's basically like, I only swim free, and I love
Where's
water.
Rin?
I want to be in the water.
Yeah.
And
also,
where's
Rin?
Where's Rin? Yeah. So insert something about Rin is his third programmed line. Yeah.
And he likes eating fish.
And he likes eating mackerel. Yes.
Yeah.
Because he's Aquaman.
Wait,
what if he's Aquaman?
Is he Aquaman?
There is that one scene where they like hold they hold some piece of like food. I think it was a melon bun too long to his lips, and it like dehydrates him almost to death because it's not fish.
It sucks the moisture out of his mouth. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, all of the characters in this are all super distinct, you know, and Haruka is, of course, he's like the prodigy, right?
Yeah.
He's the prodigy swimmer. He's obsessed with water. And the whole thing is he like doesn't really care about the sport of swimming as much as maybe he cares more about it than he thinks he does, and that's kind of a plot point later on.
He comes to learn that he kind of actually does like the sport a little bit.
Yeah, but like his whole thing where he says like I only do free, like he means freestyle, and he means like in the sense that like he doesn't care.
Yeah, like he wants to be free in the water kind of thing.
Yeah. And it is also, I didn't quite realize that I want to do freestyle swimming is the type of swimming that he wants to do, which means that you can just kind of do any form, basically.
Yeah, they explain that too, which with regards to like, they explain some of the sports stuff like freestyle. I've always been confused about like what freestyle swimming is, because when you watch the Olympics and it's freestyle and they're all doing front crawl and you're like, well, then like, why?
Yeah.
It's just because it's the fastest. That's why.
They explain it. Yeah. Most people do front crawl because it's the fastest form of swimming.
But you're allowed to do other ones, just nobody does.
They should do the swimming style from Golden Boy.
Yes.
Yeah. Or just doggy paddle. I want to see that.
Doggy paddle. Yeah. That's what I was hoping when Ray was going to do when he learned to swim there. Just quick
doggy paddle. Oh, that was one of my favorite gags. Well, let's talk about Ray then, I guess, next. Ray Ryugazaki. He's Glasses Kun. He's Michael.
I feel like in this one, the characters, for the most part, you could look at the picture of them and pretty well guess their entire personality. They're very tropey.
Yeah, they kind of wear their personality on their sleeve, but like at the same time, that's also a good thing.
Yeah,
it makes them distinct.
Yeah,
and the whole show's pretty easy to understand from that standpoint, because you kind of like already know what's going on before you even watch it. For the most part.
I do like a lot of. Well, first of all, just going back to like one of my favorite gags is Ray learning to swim. And how he's doing the turtle float and he's floating, and they're like, okay, great. Okay, now just like stretch your arms and legs out. And he does, and he just slowly starts sinking. Like that got me. I started laughing, and then he's swimming and just not moving and sinking.
Just staying in place.
Yeah, it's he's from the track team initially, and he doesn't know how to swim. But they keep trying to recruit him because his name is Ray, a girl's name.
Yeah.
And he's a nerd. He keeps talking about like the theory of swimming and how he's mastered the theory of swimming, but he can't swim.
He's the typical Glasses Kun guy.
Very serious, but he has a very good like arc as it moves on, because he kind of realizes he's like a replacement for a character we'll talk about later in Rin. And it's very compelling. His like whole like, why is everybody talking about Rin? Like, aren't we on a team now? It's good stuff. It's good.
And he also a little bit serves as like the surrogate for getting us to understand what's going on. With everyone in the
He's kind of the outsider to he wasn't part of they were all like friends at the beginning, like before the show,
as children,
and then he's the new guy to the crew. Kind of
he's the fourth guy, because they needed a fourth guy to be able to compete in tournaments.
My only critique of Ray is that he looks too much like Haruka when they're wearing swim caps, and I'd get them confused all the time.
My critique with character design was Haruka looks too much like Kageyama from Haikyuu, and I couldn't get that out of my mind.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't seen Haikyuu. Maybe that guy looks too much like Haruka. I mean, maybe.
We'll find out when we review Haikyuu.
Perhaps.
Yeah. Let's talk about our antagonist, I suppose. Kind of sympathetic antagonist who becomes not the antagonist. Rin. Rin
rival,
is,
I guess.
Rival? Yeah, rival, but he's...
I'd say he is the antagonist, because
he's the antagonist, Yeah, so Rin is... like Haruka, he's like a prodigy of swimming as well. He moved to Australia to be at a swimming school in middle school, and when he comes back to Japan, he kind of like has this attitude about him. He's a jerk. He's a real jerk. And after making me like Rin for a minute in one episode, he comes back and then he does something and then I hate him again.
I know. He's kind of insufferable for a while there, and it gets into why later in the anime too, but like a big personality trait of him, he's got shark teeth.
Yeah. He's reminded me a little bit of Bakugo.
Yes. Yeah. Kind of. There's a little bit of like a Bakugo situation going on with him for sure.
Yeah. And then I like all of the characters. And Rin included on that too. Like he's you
learn to like him
he's
by the end,
sympathetic.
for sure.
Yeah, you learn to like
he
him.
has a good
Yeah.
character arc, I think. He and Haruka probably have the best, in my opinion, character arc in this 12 episode stretch.
I would agree with that. And I kind of think that, honestly, like this anime, our main guy, Haruka, actually was probably the weakest character of the bunch. And honestly, like the way this show is sort of set up is like Rin is actually kind of the main character. Like this whole season kind of revolves around him.
Kind of.
And-
A little bit.
I wouldn't
And the
say it
other thing-
revolves around any one person because there's like different points.
It's a bit more of an ensemble cast than
yeah.
like
Yeah.
any one, because like a lot of it is about the four of them, and like where they've gone and what's going on with them now, and like
Yeah.
the
Mhm.
drama surrounding all four of them.
I only say that because it just seemed like all the biggest plot points and the most intense drama revolved around Rin.
Yes.
And
I
his
would agree with
interactions
that.
it was basically Rin and the boys for lots of this in
Mhm.
terms of the big
Yeah.
moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like
Also, the ships
The
write
ol-
themselves for this one. Him and Haruka is the obvious ship, I'd say.
oh yeah. Yeah.
They were very
it's-
aware when they wrote these characters.
The only one who doesn't really have like any narrative impact would be Nagisa, who's the Genki boy.
Yeah.
He's just a cinnamon roll. I don't know. What else can you say? He does breaststroke. And he's kind of the guy who like gets the band together. He's just super.
He's the glue
guy. Yeah, he's glue guy.
Glue guy.
Yeah,
He's glue guy. Yeah.
he fills in the gaps. He kind of he's so cheery and outgoing that he sort of like forces all the other kind of not sullen, but more like quiet, and they kind of keep to themselves. He kind of like forces them to come together. He even is the guy who like made them into a team in the first place.
Yeah.
And like,
yeah, he kind of he asks people to do things and then asks them to do things and then asks them to do things until they reluctantly agree to do whatever thing he keeps
he's
asking them to
very persistent.
do.
Yeah. Very persistent. He reminds me a lot of what's his name? The bunny guy from Fruits Basket a lot.
Yeah. Well, character design wise for sure.
Like,
yeah.
And also in personality too.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say that. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And rounding out the actual swim club itself, Makoto Tachibana, who is the captain, who is just he's serious guy. I
He's
guess
kind of the most bland. I'd say he has like the least big personality things going on for him. He's just kind of a nice guy who's like part of the team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Really
there is some stuff that happened with him, but like it kind of feels like his backstory and all the character stuff surrounding him feels a bit like Haruka Rin light, if that makes sense.
Kind of. Even like his like tragic story.
Yeah.
Where it's
kind
like
of glossed over.
Well, it's like I knew a guy and something happened to him, and then later on Rin is like the same thing happened to somebody far more important to me.
Yeah. Well, I took it to be that like those two people were the same person. And like that's kind of No,
Makoto says it was like an old man.
Yeah.
And then Rin says like it was this.
I mean, when you're a kid, like like any adult is an old
They
man.
show him he was like an old man.
Did they? Yeah. I thought they blurred out his face for some
Jay
reason.
was still playing metaphor.
But it was obvious that it was the same incident.
Yes.
That both of those happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do think I suspect, because there's 2 more seasons and I think 2 movies after this, I suspect that our boy Makoto will eventually get a little arc that kind of goes into his stuff a little more.
I don't know.
Go ahead, Cole.
Oh, I was just going to say, like, even him being kind of like milquetoast, like, I don't mind that in a cast of characters. Yeah. In a cast of characters like this, you kind of need somebody to ground everybody, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm fine with that.
He's just a support guy, I'd say. He doesn't stand out for a lot of the show.
Yeah, it does get into a little bit of how I felt about, like, this season in general. That's, like, I feel like it crammed a little too much into 12 episodes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, maybe.
Like I felt like
I have thoughts on that we'll talk about.
Yeah. Like I felt like we kind of got into the big meat of what the show was about by around like the second half, like episode 7 or so. Which like getting someone to watch halfway into a show to actually get to like the good stuff can be a little bit tricky to convince.
Yeah. I wouldn't say like the first half is bad.
I'm not saying it's bad. It's just like it's little
just
bit.
It goes from like a good show to like a good show.
Yeah.
It's basically
I'd say like from like a 7 to like an 8.
Yeah, we do have one more main character.
Yeah.
And that is Go Matsuoka, who's Rin's sister. And get it? Go. That's a guy's name. She's the girl, but she has a guy's name.
And her whole thing is, call me Ko.
She gives up on it like halfway, like in episode 3. I think she even says it. She's like, whatever. Because Nagisa keeps calling her Go.
Yeah.
She wants to be called Ko. She's the female stand-in on this one.
Yeah.
For
There's
sure.
another
She's
character
to all the buff boys. She really doesn't have any personality other than she likes her brother and she really likes buff boys.
Yeah.
Kind of.
She's the manager. I like her. Like I like her character.
Too. But
there's not much
depth there.
There's a better girl in this show.
Yeah, the teacher.
The teacher?
Yeah, the teacher.
Yeah.
I like the teacher, the gag with the teacher, how she used to work in swimsuits. And they're so, like, it's the most obvious thing what she used to do, but they have
everything
no idea.
in the show's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
It's very tropey. Very tropey. Yeah.
But yes, it was very obvious. And I was kind of glad that they paid off and like they actually found the magazine at one point.
Yeah.
I was like,
I would have liked it if they didn't. Like, I would have liked it if it was just
that was funny.
Well, it was funny, but I thought it would have been.
The coach found the magazine, and then like Go found it like at the very, very end.
Very, very end.
Yeah. I thought it would have been fine if the coach kept saying like, "You look familiar," and she's like, "Oh no," and like we know why.
Yeah. I like the payoff to the gag. I think is what I'm saying here. Yeah.
I like the teacher too. That was gonna be the last character I would introduce was the teacher.
Speaking of characters, I will say that I really enjoyed how we had these two female characters, and they're pretty well the only ones of mention. And I kept waiting. I'm like, they're eventually going to get these two in a swimsuit, and it's going to be there's going to be some male fan service. Nope, they don't. You don't see any jiggly bits at all. They respect them in this one.
There was the only exception to that is the teacher. They do find the magazine, so there's some shots of the teacher.
That's true.
There is one beach episode in this, and Go does end up in a swimsuit. It's a one piece. Tasteful one piece.
Tasteful one piece. Yep. Very nice.
Yeah.
Refreshing. Refreshing even.
Refreshing.
One Piece is a good show.
Mike, sub or dub?
Dub.
Okay. Just wanted to make sure.
Good dub,
let's
by
discuss.
The way. Good dub. Came out quite a while after the show, so they took their time with it.
Had some time. Good. I thought the voice cast in this was good as well. I didn't have any issues with it. The only one, Ray, I kind of find he'd sometimes overact almost.
Yeah,
I feel like his character model would be kind of like stoic, but the voice actor would be like, acting
a little much.
Yeah, sometimes. Okay. Yeah. That's a pure nitpick. Yeah.
Ray was J. Michael Tatum, also known as what's his name?
Okabe,
and the guy from Spice and Wolf.
Lawrence.
He was a pretty good fit, I thought.
Yeah, that makes sense. Or isn't he Ingenium or whatever as well? My Hero Academia.
I think so. Yeah.
Glasses Kun. He just plays Glasses Kun.
Yeah.
He does.
That's the thing is the voice actors all have their kind of like this is who they do.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Typecast.
Speaking of voice actors, it was weird to have Reen was voiced by Vic Magmana. How do you say that guy's name?
Oh, yeah.
That was weird. That was a little weird to hear because I just haven't heard his voice in a real long time.
And he's he's Edward Elric.
Yeah,
I know. You recognize it right away, and it's kind of like you said, it kind of throws you off a little bit.
It's like when you hear Goku in other shows. It's like,
is
that?
Yeah,
is that what's his name?
Sean Schemmel.
Yeah.
Sean Schemmel.
Goku.
Fun name, Sean Schemmel.
That always
That
always happens to me with Bryce Papenbrook. Every time I hear his voice, it's like, but like he always does like the same voice every single.
Yeah, I was gonna say which one of his roles is his iconic role because I feel like they're all the same.
Yeah,
it's screaming guy.
Yeah. Just screaming guy. Yeah. What about the character design here? What do we? I mean, it's KyoAni.
Yeah,
they do animation well. They do character designs well.
Yeah.
yeah, they look like Kyoto Ani characters, which is nothing wrong with that.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, my only complaint is like Rin or Haruka looked so much like Kageyama from Haikyuu, and I couldn't get that out of my head. But
yeah,
that's the thing is I do feel like the character designs for this are, like I said about they're very, this entire thing is quite tropey. So the characters, you can pretty well tell what they are by the character designs, which is, again, not necessarily a bad thing, because you kind of know where you stand like when you're watching it. So like you could tell, oh, that guy's glass is Kun, like we referred to him. Oh, that's the main guy. He's gonna be kind of quiet and doesn't have much of a personality other than he likes swimming. Oh, Reen's gonna be feisty. He's got red hair. Like you can tell right away.
Yeah.
And
but I feel like everybody's pretty unique, other than Ray and Haru looking the same with swim caps on, and Ray doesn't have his glasses at that point too. Yeah. So, again, nitpicky.
Yeah.
Okay, just real quick, best girl, Jay.
The teacher.
Because
mommy.
Whoa,
mommy? No,
mommy,
she's
really?
not mommy.
Yeah, she doesn't have mommy energy.
A little bit.
She's
really
just a little bit.
We're learning things about Jay.
Okay. All right. She will take care of you, though. She definitely has that kind of mommy energy.
Yeah,
I guess.
there you go.
Yeah.
Like, not step on me, mommy. Just like kind of like the.
Okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
All right.
All right.
Yeah. Okay. Mike.
Yeah, I gotta go with the teacher too. Miho is her name. She's funny. Just because like I feel like Go or Ko is just kind of a little too one note for me, and I guess Miho's pretty one note too. But
they're all one note, honestly, a little bit.
Honestly, all the characters in the show are pretty one note. But for me, I think the teacher was the more fun one. Yeah, and what about you, Cole?
Just for variety, I'll say Go. I'm on the fence, to be honest. I like the teacher. I do like Go as well. Like, I like some of her gags. I like her, like, painting how many days there are left until the swim meet gag. And yeah. I think the more important.
I feel like I keep pooping on the characters a little bit, but I want to emphasize, I do like all the characters. It's just, they're just generic is all.
Hey, we're reviewing.
Yeah, I think the biggest problem with them is for a sports anime, none of them really like stand out amongst the crowd of different sports casts.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And then the other thing too is for a quasi BL show, I feel like they didn't. I feel like the BL for a lot of the stuff, or like the relationships between the boys, was kind of, I don't want to say shoehorned in, but it just sort of didn't. There was a lot going on, and the moments felt a little weird. I
think like the closest we really got to like a BL moment really was when Haruka was about to give mouth to mouth to the other guy there.
Oh, there's
when Reen and Haruka were rolling around on the ground.
Yeah,
I didn't really take
when,
that as
Ray and Reen are like arguing there, and they're like doing the kane bone where they slam the fist on the wall and are yelling in each other's face and stuff. Like, Jay, there's lots.
Yeah, but they're fighting. They're fighting.
Yeah, like I didn't
there's
really
tension
see that.
there.
The like mouth
tension.
to mouth is like just the very common like, oh, they're gonna kiss. So like
that was
like
the most obvious one
in
I'd
your
say.
face about it.
Yeah,
but like every other one is kind of like little bit.
It felt like because I feel like that's an important thing to touch on with this show a little bit, because it's clearly what they were going for a bit, I'd say. And I feel like it didn't feel genuine to me. Whereas like Yuri on Ice, I feel like Victor and Yuri's relationship in quotes felt more genuine to me. And I kept comparing it and thinking like it just felt like a bunch of boys.
But I didn't really feel like there was any like romance.
That's kind of where I'm at too, Cole.
Tension.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm getting at.
Yeah, but like I don't think that's part of the show.
Yeah,
though.
I don't think it's an intent. It's just
like
kind of something
even,
that you can take from it. But
yeah,
like I wouldn't even say that that's something. Yeah, whatever. whatever. Best boy. That's the most important thing in this show. Jay, who's your best boy?
I'm a little torn, but I'm gonna go with Rin, because like I like his character arc.
Yeah.
And I think like between everyone in the cast, what happened and what happens to him was the most compelling for me. So
yeah, Michael.
I'm gonna go with my boy Nagisa for my best boy, because he's the glue guy. He holds them all together. He's always cheery. I almost went with Nagisa. He's making great points constantly. He was the best character in this show by far for me.
He's glue guy. I'm going with Genki boy too. I mean, come on, Nagisa. He's just a cinnamon roll, ray of sunshine, and these gloomy boys. Nothing ever gets him down.
I liked his whole thing at the festival where like he's trying to keep Haruka from seeing Rin.
Mm-hmm. He's sending Ray out as the detective.
Yeah.
Yeah. Detective Ray.
He's kind of like the orchestrator of this whole show, basically.
Yeah.
He's the
kind
progenitor.
of makes everything happen.
He's the progenitor of the club. I sympathize. I sympathize with him. Well, let's get into come on, this is KyoAni. Let's talk about production. Yeah, it's good.
Especially like the swimming Sakuga is fantastic in this show.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Like I want to extensively commend everyone who worked on that, and like the research that must have been put into like the anatomy of all the swimming techniques.
It was just so fluid and like just animated incredibly well. Like it actually felt like you're watching somebody swim. And I feel like that is like something that could have very easily and in most cases looked really awkward, and it just did not. And the stylistic choices they chose to do in like the final episode of the swimming was kind of just like chef's kiss on top of all.
And then
that
like
too.
the movement of the water while they're swimming through it also like looked really good.
Yeah.
So there's this point where like Nagisa is doing breaststroke, and you come up to take your breath, and like the way the water like kind of like falls off, like when you see like there's that film of water when they come out. Like they took the time to animate that even, and like they did it. Yeah, the swimming A+, 10 out of 10. Great job.
Yeah,
do it again.
And they did.
No complaints.
Twice. Or actually multiple times actually, but
yeah. The only critique is KyoAni to me is always about like lighting. I think they do lighting the best, and in this it's kind of flat. If I could be critical of it a little bit, it's pretty just like everybody's pretty lit flat, and that's fine. But like when you watch something like Sound Euphonium, like they do such incredible work with like backlighting and stuff like that.
To be fair for that, Cole, Sound Euphonium was only a year later. So like
this to me felt like we were watching, and I don't know that this is true, I just kind of felt like it to me, like it's still KyoAni, but it felt like maybe KyoAni's B team or something. Like it didn't have the height of a lot of KyoAni stuff, I think. And like the down moments, even in most KyoAni shows, like when you watch Maid Dragon or something, they're still like bombastically beautiful or like great. And this just felt like it was just good.
Like I would say like B team feels wrong because it's KyoAni, like.
But like KyoAni's B team is an A team at most other places, I think.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like it feels wrong to say, but I know what you mean, because I was like, I think the same thing.
Underwhelmed is maybe the word for.
I'm whelmed with this one.
Yeah, whelmed.
Yeah.
Where
KyoAni consistently overwhelms me.
I think what you guys are getting at is like it looks good across like every like the tapestry of every show from that time. But if you're comparing it to like the KyoAni catalog, then like suddenly it kind of doesn't look that great.
I think you've kind of summed it up nicely there.
Yeah. On its own, I think it looks as good as any other show that we've watched, I think.
Yeah.
I don't think you're really going to watch this and think, oh yeah, that looks ugly. No, I don't think. I think if you come out of this show with that, I don't know where you got that opinion.
Yeah, I would say the animation is great. The cinematography is probably not as good as the other KyoAni shows.
Yeah, that too. It was kind of more basic. It was just more basic across the board.
I think it looks like
very flat.
I feel like a lot of the effort for this show went into the swimming portions, because like the animation and even like the direction from to some points looked a lot better when they were swimming,
when they were in the water,
than just like all the online drama,
which
could even be a stylistic choice.
Yeah, it could be. Yeah, it's sad too, because like like I said at the beginning, I went into this expecting a sports anime, and there really wasn't much sports in this sports anime, in my opinion. There was they swam in maybe like actually swam in maybe 5 of the episodes.
Yeah,
if I had to guess.
Yeah,
it might be 4 even.
And I think like 3 of them were tournaments.
Yeah. And the rest of it was more just slice of life, some best friends hanging out stuff.
Yeah.
And, like,
there's a lot of character drama.
Yeah.
Compared to like the competition of it.
Yeah.
OST, I think the soundtrack of this one is very 2013. Like we get some dubstep, we get some
that dubstep took me right out of the moment. I did not like the dubstep.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is. You know,
of course.
It was very like, oh, here's the antagonist. Let's use the hard music.
Yeah.
Dubstep. This will never age poorly.
Yeah.
Just the wubbing and
it took me back for a minute, like you said. It threw me off. I was like, is this for real?
Yeah.
And like I would say the music was just kind of like good, but kind of generically extreme at times. Like it just felt like I almost got whiplash from how like tonally hard the music went. Like when Reen came on the screen, it was like villain theme music almost. And it like Elden Ring boss battle dubstep, and then all of a sudden you get like when they're hanging out in like at the beach, all of a sudden it's like your classic like beach happy music.
You get your
just like
royalty-free YouTube music for scene 5.
It was all good. It was just like, it just felt extremely
vanilla.
It just felt extreme and a little vanilla at the same time.
Like I hear the dubstep I hear the dubstep and then I think like, oh, okay, this is like early 2010s.
Yeah.
Like it just puts me in that place. And like, it didn't age well, but like if I look at it from the time period it was at, I'm sure it was probably hype for the time.
Probably.
Sure. But now I'm old and cynical.
Honestly, like, and I think that this makes sense. The vibe I got from that music was like Skate the Infinity.
Yeah, I could see that. And that's a similar show, I'd say.
I mean, same director, so.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I have a cool little production tidbit to drop for the show as well, actually, since Jay
Please tell me right now.
Yeah. Did you know that this show was basically, the reason KyoAni did this is because they did like basically a trailer for, I guess, the light novel. And people were like, yeah, we need more of that. And then KyoAni did the anime.
I'm curious about the light novel, if either of you want to look this up. Is this one of the classic KyoAni self-publishing a light novel just so they can make an anime?
I think the light novel came after.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I know KyoAni does that, where they kind of have a publishing house internally where they'll kind of take on light novels specifically to make anime of them. They did that with Sun Euphonium. And I wonder if Free is another one of them where like we got this just because we know this will make a good anime, so we're going to publish this light novel as well. So I could see even like maybe they made the PV for the light novel before the light novel actually came out because they knew that the light novel was going to come out, and then they would make an anime out of that light novel. It's all cyclical. Yeah, they
Maybe.
I don't know. Curious. OP opening.
Yeah.
This is a very, very KyoAni opening. We get character shots. We get cute characters being cute.
Yeah. Dominated in the mid section by like just character cards.
Yeah. Let me say this as somebody who loves KyoAni, and there are exceptions to this. Nichijou, see Violet Evergarden. Generally, their OPs aren't their strong suit.
Yeah,
I would say they're usually pretty generic. They kind of just open the show, with exceptions. Kobayashi is another one, like great OPs as well. But like this is kind of that early, we just got to throw an OP together. And here's our characters.
That is kind of what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
To answer your light novel question, Cole, it seems like the light novel and the show kind of came out at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go.
Interesting. Yeah. Interesting stuff they're doing there, Kyoto Ani.
Yeah.
Got to keep our eye on them, I think.
Yeah. The OP though was like so incredibly skippable to me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not feel the need to watch it any of the times.
Yeah, and that's kind of the thing I didn't like about both the OP and the ED. They kind of felt like the same thing to me.
Kind of.
I don't know. The ED I felt like was a bit more artistic, I guess.
I like the ED actually, I'd say.
A little bit.
I feel like it told more of a story to me.
A little bit.
It
It's
had
just
a bit
like
of imagery that I liked.
Like the style of it all just kind of felt like it could be blended together into one long music video.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess that kind of gives our thoughts on the ED as well. I think I prefer the ED. I skipped it every time though. Anyway,
I skipped both of them a lot of the time.
I agree that I'd prefer the ED, but like they're both just whatever.
Yeah. The songs aren't fantastic either to me either. So
yeah.
There's not much really to...
The OP is iconic because it's always in OP quizzes.
Is it?
Yeah.
Always.
Is it very recognizable?
Yeah.
Is that why?
I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just always in there.
Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the plot. Jay, you mentioned you kind of felt like this maybe wasn't paced the best? Could you...
A little bit.
Yeah.
Like... It kind of felt like the first 6 episodes were them like meeting everyone, getting the band together, and then like I think it was around like episode 6 where they go to the beach and they do the beach training thing.
Yeah.
The deserted island that had somehow a huge pool and swim facility on it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Even the like other deserted island had like a hotel on it.
Yeah,
it was abandoned,
like,
but like
we need to revisit what deserted means, my friend. I think we need to talk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Japan.
We do not have the same definition of deserted.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Which
go ahead.
Yeah, like I don't know, just I feel like for those first 6 episodes, I don't know. It just seems like so much information being thrown at you that it kind of seems tough to be invested. But like once you get to the backstory of some of the characters by the beach stuff, it starts to pick up.
As I was watching this, Jay, I kind of know what you're saying, and I agree with you. I feel like I kept thinking this show suffers. It's wearing just one too many hat, I felt.
A little bit.
It just kind of has a little too much going on that it kind of takes away from you can't really get too invested in any of the things that it does because it's doing so many things.
Yeah, and because
do you guys know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, because
I do. Yeah.
And because like it advertises itself as a swimming show, like you're like, man, I want to get to the swimming. I want to get to like the sports stuff, and it just kind of like not doesn't, but like it never feels like you're
it gives you a lot of samples of stuff, but it doesn't really give you a full meal of any.
Yeah,
is kind of how I feel.
Yeah, I think I'm coming at this from like a different perspective because like I'm not a big I've watched like 2 sports anime in my life, so it didn't bother me so much. Like I was fine just kind of like getting to know the characters, kind of having like more gags and stuff at the start of it. He was able to keep my attention like with some of the jokes and character interactions and stuff like that. And then when you get into the sports later on, it's like, okay, yeah, this is a bit more hype. And, but like even later on, there just generally isn't that much sports in this.
Yeah.
Later on, it becomes much more of a drama, like character drama.
Yeah.
Which I'm also here for. Like I enjoy
it was
that
fine
too.
It just kind of felt like almost, I don't want to say a bait and switch, but that's kind of the word that comes to mind a little bit.
It's just like when you're going into a sports anime, a lot of the time you're expecting like to feel those like hype feelings of, yeah, my team's like they won after all that hard work, and you never really get that feeling in this show.
Yeah, that was one thing I thought too, is like it's and when you watch Haikyuu or something, or you watch Kuroko no Basket or something like that, it's the stakes in each game are stupidly high. They shouldn't be that high for a high school volleyball game. But when you're in high school, you're in that volleyball game, they feel stupid high. And I just feel like in this one that with this way the swimming is structured, or maybe just the way the show is, it just never felt like I didn't really care whether they won or lost.
Yeah.
It was just that what mattered was they were hanging out and being friends.
And I think a lot of that has to do with the fact that like the show kind of opens on like the characters drilling into you, like Haruka doesn't really care about winning or losing.
That could be it too. Yeah.
Which like,
but I think I feel like maybe when Mike said bait and switch, like I feel like that's probably more indicative of going into the show thinking that it's one thing, but the show never, like while you're watching it, it doesn't really present itself as that.
It doesn't pull the rug out from under you. It's just like,
it's just like
you're going into it thinking like, okay, yeah, I'm ready for sports stuff. And then like from minute one of the show, it's never really hype sports action.
Yeah.
I agree, but also at the same time, like like the poster looks kind of like you're about to watch a swimming show, and for a title like Iwatomi Swim Club, like I expect to see more swimming.
I get that, yeah. I guess my argument against it would just be like, but the show is one thing. Like the poster is to promote the show, and that's fine. Like I understand what you're saying, but like the show is the show, and that other stuff is the other stuff. So
I feel like this show was sold to me, and this is just by like the Twitter and the meme reactions to it, as the boys love swimming show, or the show with hot naked boys who swim. Yeah. And I feel like it was really just more a coming of age story of a bunch of friends for the most part. Yeah. And that it's just not misleading, but it gives you the wrong impression, and then you're just kind of like, oh, okay, I see what it is now, but it's not what I expected.
Yeah, I don't think it was necessarily bad. It's just like it wasn't. It just kind of doesn't what it does. It doesn't. It isn't what it appears to be on the tin.
Right. Yeah. I think we've kind of said that.
Yeah. We're just kind of saying the same thing
at this point.
That being said, though, like I feel like everything kind of flows well, you know, like I didn't feel like there was any kind of loose ends at all. Everything wraps up pretty nicely, you know, everybody's nice and cozy at the end, and you get a good feeling at the end of the show.
Super easy watch.
Yeah. Other than like the first 4 or 5 episodes, which wasn't even a tough watch. It was just like it got much easier to like be invested and like want to watch the next episode.
Yeah.
Towards
I'd say
the end.
they were still like easily watched, but I wasn't invested in the first bit, I wouldn't say.
Yeah. I could see it being like as this show was being released, it's like, okay, yeah, I'll watch it. And then like as the show moves on, you're like, I gotta wait a whole other week for another episode. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I could see that, because it feels like each episode went by so quickly.
Yeah. Now, Jay, it's your section. Mike does sub or dub. Jay, you do. What are the themes and the messaging in this?
Themes. I mean, the obvious ones like youth, coming of age, and that kind of thing. But like also like I got follow your dreams, from it. And then like also like the obvious like friendship and that. But I think that like all clumps in with the youth.
Yeah.
One theme that kind of came to me was that like right at the beginning, the main character says something about like be a prodigy at 5 or whatever, and then by 20 you're kind of irrelevant. You're just kind of like a normal guy. And I think that's kind of the story of Reen a little bit. It reminded me of with him. He excelled early, and then because he excelled early, he thought it was normal to like grow, and then kind of when people catch up to him, he looks at it as, I'm falling behind now because everybody else is catching up to me, or now maybe passing me. And I think maybe the takeaway that I took from that is that like it's okay to not grow constantly, and that you should just kind of enjoy where you are, is kind of a vibe I got from this. because he went to Australia to become a better swimmer and all this stuff, right? And it sort of panned out that he just kind of basically flatlined. Like he didn't get worse, but he didn't really get better.
I took that as like kind of the idea of like, you know, you're Mike and I were in small towns, so you know you're the smartest kid in your class.
Yeah.
And then you go to university and you're still smart. It's not like you got any dumber. It's just now everybody is just as smart as you.
Yeah.
And I think that's where it was. Like he went from being like
kind of discouraged by it, right?
Yeah.
Well, like
it's not that everybody like he's just, oh, this is the rest of the world. Like I'm no longer in my little insulated swim club.
Yeah, but
I think
like
it's a good take.
in that line, it was like he says that, and then he's like, "I can't wait to be ordinary."
Does he say
Yeah.
that?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember.
It kind of
that.
was all over the place with the messaging for the most part, and I saw when I was looking into this a little bit, I saw a lot of like very like big picture like reviews about like big philosophical meanings of this show, and I just kind of didn't get
I don't really agree with that. Like I mean, there's also like the for the team messaging, I guess.
Yes, that was the biggest one.
That's like the on the nose message.
Yeah, you're better as a team than you are separate. Yeah, is the big one.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not good at messaging. you guys nailed it. You guys are so good at this reviewing stuff. Man, great job. Like who? Well, we kind of talked about it at the top, but like, who would you recommend this to now that we've discussed it for the last 50 minutes or so?
I think we kind of nailed it off the top. Honestly,
went over it.
No change to your thoughts at all.
No, honestly, no. I think it kind of we said all we needed to say at the beginning there. Do you have anything you want to add?
No. I mean, if there's nothing to add, then there's nothing to add. Yeah, like we said at the top, I would say, I wouldn't recommend this to like a sports watching guy. If you're like, the new hit sports anime Free.
Yeah.
I loved Haikyuu and how hype it was. And with the sports and the
I think like Haikyuu, it depends on what you're going into it for, because like Haikyuu does have that Fujoshi bait in it as well.
It does,
and I think if you're going into it for that, then you'll
but again, like I said, like if you're going from Haikyuu for the hype sports, I wouldn't recommend this for that.
Yeah,
this is much more like a character piece thing.
For sure.
Yeah, so if you like dramas, if you like like dramas with a sprinkling of comedy, I think this would be more up your alley than
you know what? If you like Your Lie in April.
Kind of.
Honestly, kind of. Yeah. It's not a terrible take, Jake. It's on the nose, I'd say.
Because like Your Lie in April focuses much more on the character dramas than on the like music playing.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the background of it.
Yeah, this has like a bigger cast than Your Lie in April, I would say. But that's I like that comparison.
It's a weird comparison, but it works. Because like Cole said before, music and sports shows are kind of the same. They kind of follow the same formula.
Yeah. Were there any other recommendations? So Jay just mentioned Your Lie in April, which was a interesting one, but apt, I would say. I said Sound Euphonium. I thought that those translate pretty well with one another as well. Mike, is there anything else that you would add to
we said Skate the Infinity and we said Yuri on Ice, and those are kind of the two that I feel I would most recommend. If you liked this, you'd like those two.
And probably. Again, Skate the Infinity is the same director as this, so
makes sense. Okay, well, Jay, why don't you close your thoughts? Tell us everything you want to say.
This is a fun show with really good swimming animation, but just kind of a little bit flat in a lot of other places. It's a little bit overblown with like a little too much going on at once and trying to be too many things, but like it does get to some place in the end. Like I still think it's a good show, but not a great show. Characters are fun and play off each other well. Albeit like one-dimensional, like we said. But and also just like good Fujoshi bait stuff that if you like that, you'll have a field day with this. So like there is stuff to like here, and also like good interesting character drama in there as well. All that said, I would consider continuing this, but at the same time, I can also see myself dropping this.
Okay. All right. Okay. Mike?
Yep. I think Jay's hit a lot of the points I'm going to make too, but I think this show to me just felt like you're watching like a sitcom or something. Like it just felt like you're watching a show that's super easy to watch. You don't have to think too deeply about anything. It has a lot going on. It kind of appeals to a really broad audience, despite being it's obviously going to turn off some people just because it's hot boys doing things, right? And some anime fans find that questionable. I question that, but that's okay. In my opinion, I think this does a good job of doing a lot of different things, but it doesn't do a great job of doing any of those different things. And it doesn't have enough time to breathe in any of the things that I'd like it to. Like I would have liked this to go lean harder into any of its genres that it decided to follow. I would have liked it to either decide if it was a sports anime, or if it was just a coming of age story, or if it was just a boys love type show. I would have liked it to lean harder into one of those categories. Or
like even if it wanted to be one of those things, like stretch it out.
Yeah, one more episode and kind of just like it just needed someone at KyoAni needed to do a better job of just kind of like condensing what the show would be into a more coherent pattern, I think would be my big takeaway. But on the whole, it's a pretty enjoyable show. I'm pretty sure I'm going to continue it. I don't know that it tickled my jimmies, so I'm going to consider continuing the saga of Free, Iwatobi Swim Club. What about Cole?
Ooh, it's my turn. Listen, do you like hot boys swimming? Sure, why not? What's not to like there?
What's not to like there?
Listen, I feel like this show kind of suffers from its reputation, I think, in the sense that like you think it's one thing, and then when you start watching it, it's not what you maybe initially thought it was going to be. In a vacuum, though, if I just sat somebody down who's never seen anything about Free and started watching it, I feel like that's the best way to watch this show, because it's listed as a sports anime. It's listed as a BL anime kind of, but it's not. It really kind of isn't that. Like it's a dramatic comedy with sprinklings of sports and stuff like that in it. It's well animated. It's well acted. It's got funny moments. And I am very curious about where it goes, story-wise, and how because it's KyoAni, of course, I'm curious like how the animation picks up as it moves along as well. You guys have kind of said everything already. I'm higher on it, I think. Like I'm going tickles my jimmies for sure.
Okay.
The ending of it as well was just so cathartic.
It was a satisfying ending.
It was a satisfying ending. I'm happy that it's continuing, but like I feel like it wraps up nicely, but still leaves some room open for sequels, which it obviously has. And I'm curious how like the character dynamics are going to work moving forward, because it feels like everybody's on like better terms.
They kind of left it at like a pretty good stopping point where maybe they weren't sure if they're going to do a season 2.
Yeah. Like even with like Iwatobi and then like the other kind of rival school who's not really a rival. They're just far better than them.
Yeah.
But like everybody's getting along, everybody's good. And I'm like, okay, now what's going to happen next? So I'm curious. I found myself getting drawn into it. Had a good time. Tickles my jimmies. My jimmies were tickled.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree with everything all three of us said, actually. So, yeah.
Let us know what you thought of Free. Did we nail the review? Of course we did. It's AniPro. We nail every review.
We're right 100% of the time, except for when we're not.
But that's never. We're never not right.
It has not happened yet. It might.
Yeah.
Not yet,
Let us know in the comments. Maybe this is the time we were wrong, but there's
a first time for everything.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for listening.
Yeah, thank you so much for listening to another episode of AniPro. If you liked it, please leave a like, subscribe, leave a review, tell a friend about us. Hey, don't forget as well, in a couple weeks, we're going to be reviewing Uzumaki.
The manga, not the anime.
The manga, not the anime, who had an atrocious episode too. Ugh.
By the way, on that note, apparently episode 3 has the same staff as episode 2, and then episode 4 has the same staff as episode 1.
Curious, very curious. Well, if you want to find out, if you want more hot takes like that, you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb. I'm going to say episode 2 of Uzumaki, best episode. You want more hot takes like that? Why don't you consider supporting us on Patreon like these lovely people? Mr. Family Guy 36, Elijah Wood, Brain Dead B-Dog, Nina Tucker, his best waifu, Peach, Frama, Kratos, Just Juzz, Mogmog, Freeren's Feet, Antonio Bustos, and Uncle of Light. By supporting us on Patreon, you got access to all sorts of perks and hot takes from us and listeners. Ooh, see that? That's a plug for our most recent bonus episode. Really helps out the show as well. We would really appreciate it. We're also on social media at AniProPod, and please join our Discord community to keep up with us and other listeners. Links to everything is in the description or at our website, AniProPod.com. Jay.
Yes.
Please lead us in a round of bye-byes.
Okay.
And
a 1, and a 2, and a 1, 2, 3, 4.
Bye-bye.
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 So you didn't lead us.
No, he counted us in.
He led us. Yeah, he counted us in.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Oh, we didn't record any of that.
Oh, no.
Bye-bye.